In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a value scale using pen and ink. Okay, so we have two different types of pens that are good to use for this assignment. One comes in fine, 0.7 millimeters, or micro in 0.5 millimeters. And these are little black pens that look like this. And the micro pen is, as you can see, slightly smaller than the other one. Okay, you could also use a fine point Sharpie, or if the microns are out, you can use these as well. They work really well too. Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate how this works. So you're going to get a small piece of paper that looks like this, which you'll eventually glue into your sketchbook. The first scale, what you're going to do is go from black to white. So this top row will actually not be filled in at all. So you're just worrying about these four squares here. So you want to go from black to dark gray to medium gray to light gray to white, basically. Okay, so hatching is where you are just drawing basically straight lines. So I'm going to just do diagonal ones. And the closer they are, or the thicker they are, the darker they will be. So as I get up here, I'm going to now I'm going to want to go a little bit darker down here. So I really want to get this to be like a black. And by just repeating the lines and making them closer together and having less white space between the lines, you're creating a darker value. Okay, so something that looks like that, and that's hatching. And then cross hatching is basically the same thing, except you're crisscrossing your lines. So if I did all these in one direction, my cross hatches are going to go in the opposite direction as well. So I'll just get a base down. So now I can go in the other direction. And again, the less white space you have, the darker it's going to be. So I'm not really taking my time here for demonstration purposes, but you want to make sure this is nice and neat. So you guys are going to use these techniques for a pen and ink drawing that we're going to do next. And when you're doing cross hatching, you can actually go in multiple directions. It doesn't have to be like 90-degree angles. I could go up and down now. Okay, but that's how you're getting your value built up. So you're going from dark to light. Stippling is little dots. I'm actually going to use the Sharpie so you can see what that looks like. Actually, a bigger Sharpie. Okay. So stippling is little tiny dots over and over and over and over. Okay. But this is a good way to get a different type of texture if that's what you want. So you would keep layering dots, and then, you know, up here you'd have a couple little dots. And then more concentrated dots, because again, the less amount of white space in between means the darker the value. Okay? So stippling is a bunch of little dots. Go back to my big Sharpie. So this one's a little bit more tedious, but if you're doing a pen and ink drawing and you do this in little areas, it's a really good way to, like I said, create that variation and that interest, and give a different type of texture. So some things might be smooth with your lines. Okay. So stippling is little tiny dots. Hatching is little skinny lines. Okay, so on and so forth. This next one you can do random lines or circles. So, actually, switch to this. So for random lines, you could do stuff like this. And again, it's the same principle as what we're talking about with the stippling and the cross hatching. The more you overlap and the less white space there is between the lines, the darker this is going to appear. So you could pick which one you want to do here. So random lines or circles. Circles would be just repeating circles. And you can kind of do a combination if you want, but make it look cool. Okay. And for the random line, you can get really, random if you want, or kind of stick to like a simple little squiggle. I made that one too close. It's a little too dark, but that's okay. So again, this gives you a totally different texture as well. So as you're planning out your drawings, you have to think about which technique or combination of techniques is going to work best for your drawings. Okay. So I'd fill this in a little bit more so that there was minimal white space showing. Okay, until I get this really dark. Okay, now choice of line here, but you see that there's no lines breaking up your little grid. So this is going to be a smooth gradient where again you're going from black to white and all the shades in between, but you're going to pick a technique that you like here and create that gradient, but it's going to be smooth, so meaning no harsh stops with the grid line. Okay, so I think I'm going to do cross hatching for this one, so that's one of my favorite. And actually what I'm going to do is a combination of the two pens. So I'll start out with the skinnier pen. And you could also try to experiment with the contour cross hatching, where if you had something that was like cylindrical, okay, and your cross hatches would follow the shape of that cylinder to create the illusion of a round object. I need to do this sideways, but I don't want to rotate the book here, so anyway. So you'll keep layering on the cross hatches, and again you can go both ways, all four ways, whatever you want to do. Okay? But this will eventually be smooth. So once you get the hang of the pen and the hang of these different techniques, this will be really easy to do to get a nice smooth gradient. Okay? So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll put it on time lapse for you so you don't have to watch me do it in real time. So finish this little scale sheet and then grab a glue stick and stick it into your sketchbook, and that way you'll have it as a reference for your Inktober drawings. Okay? Okay, so there you have it. So work on your value scales. Again, hatching is just lines going in one direction. Cross hatching is where the lines crisscross. Stippling is little dots. Random lines are circles, and then a smooth gradient in your choice of techniques where you go from black to white without the obvious stops of that grid line. Okay, so when you're all done, grab a glue stick and stick it in your sketchbook. Thanks for watching.